Good morning to you all. How are you doing? Oh, I meant to drink some coffee before I started because I've watched that back. I found that a bit annoying that I'm like, oh, 1 minute, let me my coffee. Anyway, in today's video, I'm going to answer the question a lot of you have asked about the renovation story of the house. And let me tell you something, a lot of people are like, what does she do and how does she do it? Is this magic? Because it's mind-blowing. Well, let me tell you something, it isn't. It's about mind setting and goal setting and getting in the right mindset for what you want to achieve and then doing everything in your power to achieve it. No matter what, you're going for it. And this is where I think it's quite funny because certain people that shall remain nameless sort of look on and think, what is she, how is she doing what she's doing? As if I've got some magic power, but we've all got this flipping power in us, which is why I started the YouTube channel in the first place. So I'm going to tell you about what happened, why it happened, and how it kind of led me to where I am now and where I'm at the place of sitting down and figuring things out. Don't get me wrong, I don't just sit there and things fall into my lap. I have to figure things out as well, the same as you do, the same as anybody does who's trying to achieve something that might be a little bit out of the comfort zone. So there's two folds to this. One is the story, because you guys seem to like the storytelling, and two is the whole mindset thing and like, what do you want to do and what you're going to do about going and getting it. So welcome to this channel. If you're new, my name's Louise Usher and this channel is called A Lusher Life because this is all about like helping you into your goals and dreams and wishes and finding out what they are and do you actually want to set them. And the reason that I say that, whilst I just drink out, look at my science cup, isn't it funky? Table of elements. So when I was doing my undergrad degree, I was bought this as a gift. I think this might be a bit hot. That's all right. I can do 10 minutes talking with you and then come back to that. So I just set a new goal yesterday, which has scared the pants off me. I don't think I'm going to share it with you yet. But this new goal, I didn't even realise it was something that I'd been parking. Now, is there something like that for you, that you sort of like, you haven't got this thing in your life, but you hadn't set it as a goal, or it wasn't something that you necessarily wanted? So that's exactly where I've been. I was in this place of like, this thing's not in my life, but that's okay because it's a bit scary if it comes into my life, or it's out of my comfort zone, or what if this happens, what if that happens? And just yesterday I was like, you know what, I actually think I'm going to set that as an intention, as a goal. What's the worst that can happen? Do you know? So let's go for it. Anyway, in relation to the house, there's quite a long story that I'm going to make very short. 4.5 years ago, my dad suddenly passed away. He had a brainstem stroke, which is in the piece at the back there, the cerebellum. And what that is, it's a stroke that's not like a one-sided thing. It just shut down. What that does, that brainstem in the body, oh my goodness, I could talk forever about this because I'm so interested in how the body works. So what it does, it controls all your basic things like your heart rate and your temperature and your breathing and all of that. And it started to shut it all down bit by bit, starting off with him slurring his words and things. And then anyway, long story short, from being taken into hospital, 4 days later, he had passed away. And obviously, mum and dad had spent like over 50 years together, and it was really, really, really tough. So she did so well, and I was so proud of her. She was really brave, and she picked her life up. She carried on, and I kept popping in to see her. And a year to the day later, which was so bizarre, she was rushed into hospital with a massive heart attack. Now, her symptoms were not these like chest clutching, oh my goodness, but she called me up and she said, I feel a bit giddy and my eyesight's not quite right. I can't see the houses across the road clearly. And I was like, this doesn't sound very good. So I went round there, and the only tools I could get my hands on at the time was a blood pressure monitor. And I took her blood pressure, which actually was fine, which is the weirdest thing ever. But her pulse was 45 beats a minute. And I thought, I know that's a little bit slow. So what might be this about? And then on the back of her chair was a bra hanging, and I was like, why is your bra on the back of the chair? She went, oh, last night it got a bit tight around this area while I was watching telly, so I took it off, and now the light bulb went off, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I said, well, I'm just going to phone for some advice, mum. And we rang 111. If you're from the States, it's like it's not 911, that's our emergency. 111 is more like an emergency doctor kind of advice sort of thing. So I rang them. Straight away they did an ECG and figured out that she'd had this massive heart attack. Obviously it had to be confirmed in hospital. Not many people survive the levels of troponin. Do you know about that? It's an enzyme that the heart gives off. Anyway, the heart gives off this enzyme when there's damage to try and help, and the higher the level is in the blood, then you know, it determines what sort of heart attack you've had, and or how severely, I should say, not necessarily the type, because I think that's more to do with ECG. I'm not 100% an expert on cardiology, but we did touch it at university, and I really enjoyed cardiology. It was so interesting. So anyway, she was in hospital in intensive care for a week, which was mad. And she came out of hospital and didn't want to go back home. Understandably, she was very frightened. And so I said, come and stay with us for a few days, Mum. And those few days went on to months. Now, I was on the sofa at this time because I gave her my bed. And to be honest, I don't know how to put this in a positive term, but how unwell she was, we didn't think that she was going to be with us for very long. And I did actually pray at that time. It was in January when it happened, and I prayed that we could have the summer together. And I took her out every day. We went somewhere, we did something. Lots of things were happening, like whether it be just going out for lunch, or we went to old places that we'd been to once before. I took her to her mum and dad's grave and all these sorts of things, and generally got Daughter of the Year award that year. It's not been so brilliant since, and that makes me feel terribly guilty. But that's what you get when you care for somebody, and you always feel like you're never doing good enough. Got to hurry up because I've got clients coming. So we had that summer and it was phenomenal, but the price that I was paying for still having her here and living with us, and she didn't want to go back home, was my back is a problem. You might know, you might not. I've got AS, which is short for ankylosing spondylitis. It is an inflammatory condition. It's an autoimmune disease where the body attacks the joints, specifically in the spine and the hips. And mine's not bad, but I really have to look after it. Like, I have to stretch every day and eat a certain way. If I don't, I could just turn to stone. Anyway, so I was on the sofa. It wasn't bearing well with my back, and I was struggling. So my fantastic ex-husband said, let's knock into the roof, make a bedroom in there so that my son can go up there, Mum can have his room, which was the little box room, and I can have my bedroom back. And he did it out of the goodness of his heart, and I've got nothing bad to say about this whatsoever. However, he's not a builder. He's a DIY person who's quite handy. He did it all off his own pocket because at the time I wasn't in a financial position to do that. And he put the labour in, and he really worked hard, and he created this space for us, which was really kind. However, it did cause us quite massive issues we had leakage. There was a simple little thing that we didn't know, and there's no blame here, so please don't think that, you know, I'm saying anything bad, because it's not that case. But we had massive leaks in the house and massive floods. And even though it had created this lovely space up there, there was just water coming down the wall every single time it rained, and it came down into my ceiling, into the light fittings. One morning I woke up and the bottom of my mattress was soaking. I have a TV bed, so there's a TV in the end of the bed and electrics and everything, and it was becoming a problem. So cutting a very long story short, fast forward to today, I managed to, this is where thinking outside the comfort zone, I managed to remortgage. Thankfully, there was some equity. Thankfully, I got an absolutely phenomenal finance, well, they call wealth experts, but that suggests you've got like millions of pounds. So I got some advice, some very good advice, and I sat on it for a while because I was really nervous. And I thought, it's just like little me on my own, earning money to look after these 4 adults, which was so scary. And obviously always trying to build the online business, always trying to build the writer stuff as well. And I was like, am I going to have to put all my dreams and wishes on hold to fix this house and to keep these 4 people, including myself, well, 5, including the dog, keeping us all fed? But anyway, I got the advice of these people, and they said, putting money into your house is always a wise investment. It's not getting into more debt, it is an investment. And so what I did, I managed to do that and get a buy-to-let mortgage, or 2 or 3, which you've seen in the other videos. So I've invested in some properties, and one of them is next door. We put Mum in there because all this building work needed to go on. I knew that that wasn't going to be possible to have her here, because she's got heart failure and dementia now as well. So she's still here like all this time on, getting on for 4 years on, which has shocked everybody. But I need her to be comfortable, have some independence, but also, you might not know this, and there is a video that will come, and I don't know when, but I've also had some health scares, quite serious ones, which thank God I've got the all clear for now, spoiler alert. But yeah, so I had to look after myself as well as her and as well as the kids, and do you know what I mean? And it was all this, oh, what's going on? But I bit the bullet, took some advice from experts. I can't be expected to know everything about everything. I can't be expected to know about building a house and doing finance stuff and, you know. So I focused on what I was expert on and got advice from other people about the other things. So that all went really well. And oh my God, I'm getting emotional. I'm doing this a lot lately, aren't I? And so we moved her in there. She's comfortable in there. Obviously, we see her a lot. At the moment, we can't because of the current situation, and I'm not going to name the words because they'll get problems with YouTube. So she's in there, she's comfortable, and we was like, right, let's do this house and let's do it big and proper. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite stretch to doing all the things I wanted to do. So I'm thinking in 4 years' time, there might be more. I can do more. I can make this house even better. I've also got another bit of a goal, which feels way out there, but I kind of would like to build a house. And I'm thinking within the next 10 years, I'd like to build this timber framed home. It's called an Adelia home. It is made by Scandia House, but I need to buy a piece of land, which I've seen a house near here, which is creepy looking, but it's got a lot of land, nice big trees. It's not in the middle of nowhere, but it could feel like it is. And I like that. I like feeling in the middle of nowhere, but I do like having the convenience of the shops. And especially with my AS, I don't know where that might end up in the future. I'm hopeful that it's going to be not too bad, but I might need to be near the shops to remain independent, stuff like that, you know? So anyway, so here we are now in the renovation process. We are getting quite close to being nearer towards the end. A lot of things have held us up because with furlough, everybody's on furlough, so things like trying to get hold of windows, plaster is an issue. This is really widely known. Trying to get hold of plaster to plaster the walls is very difficult, and our staircase is taking longer than necessary to, or longer than it normally would, to be made, and that's coming from up north on Monday, I believe. We're having that delivered, or is it Friday? Friday next week, so a week tomorrow. It's not tomorrow, is it? No, a week tomorrow. And so things are all getting there, and I do feel as though life is definitely outside my comfort zone at the moment, but I'm loving it. And I'm loving the fact of like, right, I need to do this to make that happen, to do this, and I'm having to stay really, really focused on doing one thing at a time, because when they gave me the phone call to say this is going to happen, I actually was in a frenzy. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to cope with that and that and that? And I thought, one thing at a time, you know, that's how I'm going to cope with it, one little thing at a time. I've had to unfortunately put the keyboard down slightly and not write the books, which is why I'm doing these little videos instead, because they take me about 2 hours start to finish to get like all the keywords and everything put in. But as for the writing, sadly, I mean, we're still on the bestsellers list for the book, the anthology book, still on the bestsellers in microbiology and respiratory diseases, which is phenomenal. So at the minute, everyone's going, oh, look, she's a writer. I should be getting the other books out there, but I can't do it all. So I am human, but also I do believe a little bit in magic. And I do believe that if you take yourself out of that comfort zone, you can achieve all sorts of things. And there's some things I find that really easy to do, and work is one of them. I've always had that, like, I can do anything with work. I can take myself where I want to go, and I can be who I want to be. But other things not so easy, so I'm working on that as a work in progress, the same as you are, and the same that I encourage you on this channel to be that person that is going to say, you know, I'm going to have a go at that, and I'm going to do my absolute best to achieve it. So on that note, what is your thing? What do you want to set as your goal? What is the dream that you feel was like, not really sure that can go there? You know, try and be specific with it. Try and nail it down to start the visualization process, because if you do, now don't get me wrong, I had an architect for my visualization process with this roof, the roof room. I don't know what to call it, top floor, second floor. I do call it the West Wing just to be funny, because don't get me wrong, this place is just a terrace house. It's just very modest, but it's our home, and we feel, you know, an attachment to it. We love it. It is our home, and I'm making it the best that I can make it. So in the West Wing, the architect came and designed that, because much as I'm a creative person, sometimes actually seeing something, I'm always mind blown when I actually get to see it. Doesn't mean I can't visualize it, because I can, but what I can do is visualize something specifics for goals setting, if that makes sense. I don't know if that did make sense. But so for example, if I wanted to go to a certain location on a certain night out, so it was a ball or something like that, I could picture myself in the dress, what colour and all the rest of it, and who I'm going with, and what glass I might be holding, how I might be, what I might have my nails done, and all those sorts of things. So I'm good at that, which is important for manifestations, because if you can't visualise, you're not going to be able to imagine, and therefore you're not going to be able to go there in your mind and think, right, that's what I want, I'm clear, and that's how I'm going to go get it. So this house thing, yeah, it was the same. And let me mention Julie, because she likes it when I mention her. I'm really going to have to make this quick now. She said to me the other day, you make me laugh, because we voice note a lot. That's how we communicate. It's just a lot easier. And I said to her, you know what? Because I wasn't going to do my kitchen. And I was like, do you know what? I think if I project manage that myself, because I've learned enough now, and I do this, this and this and this, I can actually make this kitchen happen. Tell me, say, yeah, Lou, you can do it. And she came back, she was like, you do make me giggle. She said, you do make me laugh, because you always are like, I might do that. She said, you always make it happen. You always go and do it. And yeah, it takes some doing, and it takes some work and some focus and belief, because that's where my things that I stumble on is a lack of belief. And when you start to think, I'm gonna actually be able to do that, then that's where things do start falling into place. And listening to your guidance systems along the way as well. Like at the minute, these videos, I'm really enjoying them, and I think you are as well, which is lovely. But look at the small audience that there is. When I put the other ones out there, the travel stuff, will you watch them as well? I think so, because there's a bigger audience that will watch them as well. And I do need to be practical and realise I have still got to make a living. You know, I cannot magic money out of thin air, but what I can do is start my processes and get there to a place where I'm like, yep, okay, now we've got that, and that's what we're going to do with this. And then we get something else, and that's what we're going to do with that. Am I making sense? And I know I'm not the only person in the world that's like, feels like that and can see that. And this has become so apparent to me in life lately, when I'm bumping into people that I think, you think like me, and that's really lovely to have conversations with people who are similar with your mindset, and especially those of us who don't sit there and go, oh yes, everything is perfect. You know, those of us that sit there and go, there are challenges, but you've got to overcome them, and this is normal, and this is human nature. And you know, it's just nice. It's just life feels really good today. I hope things are good in your world as well, and I really wish the best for you, and I hope you've enjoyed this little story. So everyone's okay at the end of this, and things are going well. The work is going really smoothly. Mother's happy. I'm healthier now, and going to see there's a bit of a clearing thing going on, I think, as well. So she's where she is, and it's how it needed to be for all of us, I think, because if you're a carer, and I might do this in another story, and I'm planning to interview Mum to write a piece for lots of reasons I'll go into another time, but I'm planning to interview Mum, and I will be putting that up on here, and I hope from that you can pick up a few things about Mum, about her personality type. Lots of people who first meet her go, I absolutely love your mum, and then if you listen to her language and listen a bit deeper, you'll know, like a lot of people who are set in their ways as they're older, and let's face it, we all are a little bit, but she can be a challenge sometimes, and I don't make any secret about that. Nevertheless, she's my mum, and I want to do my best for her and make sure that she's comfortable in her twilight years. And so she's where she is, but also I've got to be where I am. So lots of love to you. I'm going to go now because I need to crack on with my day, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and bye bye for now.